Listen, pain has a purpose. There's purpose in pain. I say this all the time. You have to be uncomfortable in order to move. So there is purpose in pain. But here's something that was laid on my spirit this morning. My son, he's 12, so he's at the point to where, he's growing and it's uncomfortable for him. So sometimes he'll come to me, he'll be like, Dad, man, my knees hurt. I say, yeah, you the one says you wanted to be taller. So in order to grow, you have to experience some pain. So there's purpose in that pain. You want to be taller, but you don't want to be uncomfortable. There's sometimes that you can be in a position, let's just say a work position, and you've been comfortable at this point, but God wants to take you to the next level. So now a place that you have been comfortable at, now things just start to agitate you. Now you're just like, oh man, I don't feel like whatever. But in your head, you like, I don't want to apply for this next position because I see how the person that has that position now, they're always tired, they're always agitated. I don't want that. But you've been praying for increase. But that increase comes with more responsibility. So you want it, but you don't want the pain that's associated with it. So there is a purpose in pain. But here's the other thing side to that. Sometimes the pain that you experience is simply because of who you're associated with. Sometimes the pain that you are experiencing is simply because who you are associated with. I remember when I was younger, let's just say something happens at the house, something breaks. It was a lot of us in the house. So let's just say somebody drank all the Kool-Aid and then put the empty jug back in there. So my grandmother might say, who left this empty jug in the refrigerator? And nobody says anything. So she said, okay, all right. So since nobody want to say nothing, can't nobody have no more Kool-Aid. So now everybody's mad because I didn't do it, but because no one else said that they did it and I'm associated with that, I am now in some pain because of something that I didn't do. It's because of who I'm associated with. That's why that saying, birds of a feather flock together. So when I was coming up, my grandfather used to I didn't understand at the time, but he used to not allow me to spend a night anywhere. And I told this story hundreds of times. And I used to be like, well, why? Why can't I, and he'd say, because I can't control what happens in someone else's home. Anybody can come over here because I can control this environment. And it was just crazy because that kept me out of a lot of situations because I wanted to go stay the night, but that wasn't my final destination. I wanted to go stay the night because then once I get up over there, then we're going to go up over here and this, that, and the other. And it never failed that every time that I was not allowed to go somewhere, something would happen. The place that I was going to go. So had I went and let's just say, something happens and everybody goes to jail. I didn't do nothing, but I was associated with it. So I'm saying all of that to say this. Sometimes the pain that you are experiencing is because of who you choose to deal with. If you are with a group of people that you know that you feel uncomfortable around, you know what I mean? Like they're your friends, but you have outgrown that season. You don't have no beef, but you just feel a little, weird. The conversation is a little different. I do you one better. When that group of friends start saying you acting different. See, that's when you know it's time to move on. Not that y'all have beef, but when they start noticing that you acting a little different, that means that they see something in you that makes them uncomfortable. They see something in you that makes them uncomfortable. That's the signal that you're growing. And the problem is you don't want to feel isolated. So you stay in a place that you have outgrown. So now being in a situation that you have outgrown, you start to find out things that you should have never even been associated with. See, what happens is in that group, two people fall out of that group. Now they're coming to tell you what is said about you when you're not around. Man, yeah, I don't mess with such and such no more because this is what they were saying about you. Man, they were saying this, that, and other about you. Now you like, what? And you are hurt. You are now experiencing a pain because you thought that these was your friends. But here's the thing. They saw something in you that spoke to their spirit to say, you acting different because God is trying to remove you from a situation and you choose to stay in a situation. So now you are experiencing a pain that you should have never been a part of. So now the two friends that have defected are now telling you how the group really felt about you. So now you feel in a certain type of way. So now you start telling those two friends how you really feel about the other ones. And then guess what always happens? They accept those two friends back into the group, and those two friends now telling the group everything that you said about them. They don't tell a part that they said about them. They say everything. So now this group is telling all your secrets. And now you feel like, oh my gosh, oh, I can't believe. That's because you should have never been there in the first place. See, pain does have a purpose, but sometimes the pain is because you won't move. How many signs does God have to send you? How many signs does God got to say, hey, listen, it might be time to step away? You know, and that's why I said this before. It is not my job to see past what a person shows me to see their heart. That ain't my job. That's above my pay grade. I have to deal with you for face value. If you show me that you have these characteristics, it is not my job to say, man, everything that come out their mouth is a lie, but they got a good heart. I don't know that you have a good heart. I can only go by what you show me. And the problem that so many people have, and some of the stress and some of the anger and some of the pain, is because you are looking past what a person shows you. If you in a relationship, if you dating, and a person, what they call them, red flags. If a person shows you 6 red flags, but 2 green flags, you will look past those red flags, focus on the 2 green flags, and then say, well, those other red flags, you know what? We'll work on that. Now, 2 years later, this man that had 2 babies on you, or going upside your head, or this female then took all your money and doing this, that, and the other, and you got the nerve to be sitting here talking, I don't know why God doing this to me. You're doing it to yourself because God sent you the red flags. But it's simply because those green flags is something that you want. And because it's something that you want, you ignore everything else. But they got a good heart. When sometimes when I be reading these stories about somebody who just committed a murder and then the family comes forward and they say, this not really him. He's a good person. This man just killed 2 people, right? Just killed 2 people. And you focused on he wasn't raised that way. He was a good person. 2 things can be true, but that does not neglect what he did. And a lot of times that person might have been a great person, but they chose to get in the car with the wrong people. Because some pain is based in who you are associated with. And that's my message today. It's a real simple message. Sometimes God will allow certain things to come to you to cause you discomfort, to cause you some pain, to push you to purpose. But sometimes that pain that you are experiencing is because you hard-headed and you want to stay associated to a circle that you have outgrown. That's why it's so hard sometimes to when, you find yourself in a situation and you just feel like I can't connect. I feel like I'm on an island, but I'm around all of these people. That's because you are in the wrong group. When I do these videos, sometimes it doesn't resonate to the people that are unwilling to change. You see, to some people, I'm just talking because you haven't got to the point yet till you're able to hear. So you feel like, man, this dude just talking again, especially the people that know me in real life. Man, he just talking. He always talking. That's because you are not have the ability to hear yet. But if you are in a point in your life that you want to change, these words mean something to you because I'm in the same boat as everybody else. Every day that I wake up and I do a video, it's because I'm experiencing something in my life and I feel like it's my purpose to speak it to the world. So anyways, y'all have a blessed day today.